Here we are at the Red Oak Victory, and we're talking with someone right now about, well, Fred Klink and Dave, Mark Eppers. We're just getting an idea of what they're doing here. So why save the Red Oak Victory?
There's really three things, Joel, that I think of about the Red Oak. One, of course, is the World War II history. The ship was built in 1944, and she was part of that huge industrial effort that the U.S. put in which really is what won the war. And not to take anything away from the bravery of the troops or the sailors or anybody else, but our ability to build ships at the rate that we could build them and build other pieces of equipment, aircraft and tanks and everything else, that's what really won the war. We wouldn't have been able to win, or it would have taken a lot longer beyond that. The second story is the technology. This shipyard was able to build this ship and others like it in just 88 days. And before World War II, a ship of this size would have taken a year to construct. So it was just Henry Kaiser and his engineers were just amazing technologists. The third thing, of course, is Rosie the Riveter and all of the people who came here to work in the shipyards from all over the country, women taking jobs that nobody had ever heard of women having before, like riveters and welders and torch cutters and that kind of thing. Minority people who could not have gotten those jobs before the war, coming to the shipyards and being fully employed. So those three stories really strike me about preserving this ship and what it means to us.
Well, to me, it's about not only the ship, it's about the story of Richmond. I mean, in 1941, I think Richmond had 23,000 people. In 43, 44, they really don't know how much, but they know it was over 80,000 people. And that's like Fred said, they came from all over to diverse everything to take these jobs that they never had before. And it actually, they ended up building a whole infrastructure to bring these people back and forth that goes all the way to Albany on a rail car. So what it is, it's really the story of Richmond, the story of how America reacted to being in the war and what we did in basically 3.5 years. But it's more than that. This is the last surviving ship of the shipyard here. And to me, that's the legacy. And it would be a shame for this to rust away. And the people here, I'm a rookie here. I've only been here about 1.5 years. Most people have been here since we have some people since 1998. And they have been keeping this ship up with limited funds, limited volunteers, and it actually is in pretty good shape. It may look a little rusty, but it's not a rust tub. We get inspected by the Coast Guard yearly.
Wow.
We can actually, once we go through the yard, we can actually go sailing on the bay, just like the Jeremiah O'Brien.
Wow.
But that's in the future. What the plans now are for us to move about 1,000 yards adjacent to the ferry dock over there, next to basically the Craneway and the National Park Service, the Rosie River Museum. That's the plan. We got to spiff up our ship a little. We've got to, the city is voting, I believe on Tuesday, to fund a move that the port and the mayor have been, and Congressman Garamendi have been pushing to move the ship from here over there. And when we do it, it's just not going to be a museum ship. It's going to be a community asset. We just started our STEM program. We're starting all these programs. The people will be able to come and see the ship, the last surviving legacy ship built here, and still in Richmond, California. Most ships like that, they're either razor blades now, or they're in places that they weren't built.
All right. Where we need to, by the way, please like, subscribe, and share, and we'd love your wonderful comments as well. One of the questions I wanted to ask is why it's going to cost $20 million to move it?
Well, there's two costs. Okay, one is $4.5 million to spiff up our ship. We should be able, after that, we should be able to go sailing out in the bay. The other is the cost of the study to build the pier and building the pier. And that's between $15 and $20 million. So there's two costs here that we're going. And right now, Congressman Garamendi is all in on moving the ship. The city and the port are. So hopefully we'll be able, between now and 4 or 5 years when it'll be completed, we'll be able to have the money to fund all of those things.
Very good. And I'm a little curious about, so it's going to be located over here, and you said they're both going to clean this up as well as that's the cost for moving it over there. Is there any specific reason why you want it over there?
Yeah, it's primarily the proximity to the Rosie the Riveter National Park. Many of our visitors come from visitors who've gone to the Rosie the Riveter Park and they find out about the ship and they come over here. But it's not convenient. It's a 4.5 mile drive. It takes 15, 20 minutes depending on the traffic. And a lot of people that visit the Rosie Park come on the ferry. Well, they have no way of getting over here. We always joke, the people ask, how do we get there? I say, are you a good swimmer? Because it's only about 1,000 yards if you can swim it. But the being in that proximity to the park will make a huge difference in our number of visitors. We're typically looking at 5,000 or 6,000 visitors a year in our present location. We think we'll see 20,000 plus once we get over there. Okay. And that's just visitors who come on a daily basis to come and do a tour of the ship, that sort of thing.
Go ahead.
Sure.
I mean, the proximity, the ferries are easy. I mean, you get off the ferry, you go there. We're going to have it lit up. You're going to be able to see it on the other side of the bay and all that. What it does is it brings attention to the Port of Richmond and what's here. And that's, all these people are trying to help us. We want to give back. And that's the reason for putting it over there, is that we will, I'd say easily, we're about $150,000 operation here. We're easily going to be the 8 to 1.2 million just because of the admissions and moving. So to me, it's like, it's got to move.
Okay. We're doing good.
By the way, please like, subscribe, and share. And we'd love your wonderful comments as well.
One of the things I want to mention, maybe you can reflect on it, is today's cruise ships have the same thing where they build the different parts of the ship and then they install it all at once. And apparently that was a big thing for Henry Kaiser's team.
Yes, definitely. They built these ships really as components. So we're standing next to the main deck house. When they laid down these ships, they built the keel, the hull of the ship. The deck house was built elsewhere in the shipyards. And the deck house was so big and heavy, once they built it, they cut it into 4 pieces, believe it or not, brought each individual piece over here and then welded it all back together on the ship. But the same thing was true for the bow section, the stern section, and as a result, we're not only building the ship, but in parallel, we're building the deck house, the bow, the stern, the other sub-assemblies. And so everything came together as the ship was being completed. So the 88 days was from first laying down the keel to pushing the ship out into the bay. And that was remarkable. Even today, for a modern shipyard, that would be remarkable. And a lot of that had to do, too, with the fact that these are all welded construction. And the fact that they had so many workers. There were 93,000 workers in this shipyard during World War II.
Well, first of all, a lot of people see this. It's a gorgeous area. You can see, what's the name of that island again?
Brook Island.
The Brook Island. You can see San Francisco. You can see Marin County. You can see the port of San Francisco. So this particular area is really gorgeous. Has a ferry over here, and they have the Rosie the Riveter Museum, am I correct? So there's a lot of things that are not being fully utilized at this point, especially this ship. And you said that it could triple or quadruple its impact in the community, right?
Oh, yeah, it will. No, it will. And I mean, that's the Rosie the Riveter. It's tough to get like attendance figures that go through there, but it goes anywhere from 70 to 100,000. So only having 20,000 visitors a year would mean a fifth of the people. So over the years, we could grow a lot. I mean, up to the maybe $2 million plus whatever we get for people that want to support our cause. So yes, it will bring it'll bring jobs to the area. It'll bring recognition, and that's why we want to move it. And the most important reason is we want to honor the crew that's kept this ship alive for the last 27 years.
Okay.
In fact, let me say something about the crew that works on this ship right now, just to give you an idea of the magnitude of the work that we're putting in. Last year alone, 2025, the all-volunteer crew, no paid staff, the all-volunteer crew on the ship put in 15,000 hours of work.
Wow.
And so I did a little back-of-the-envelope calculation. I said, well, what if they were paid? What if they were paid a kind of, minor or a minimum salary of $25 an hour?
Yeah.
That means that crew contributed $325,000 to the ship in 1 year, which makes them our biggest donor.
Okay. So you said a little bit about the ship being constructed at the end of the war. Am I correct? When did it officially go out?
She was launched in November 9th of 1944. After the ship is launched, it has to be outfitted, so there's plumbing and carpentry and electrical fittings and all that. The ship finally left the Bay Area with her first load of war supplies in December of 1944, went to Honolulu, and was there loaded with fleet ammunition. So Red Oak Victory was a fleet ammunition carrier, and she was a U.S. Navy commissioned vessel. So she was USS Red Oak Victory. Her designation was AK-235.
So she was manned by Navy personnel?
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
All
was wondering
Navy.
about that.
All Navy crew.
How many officers and how many crewmen?
104 was the total crew complement. 11 of those were officers. The rest were enlisted personnel.
Wow. So, correct me if I'm wrong, would merchant marines have armament like this? Or is it just a Navy thing?
Yeah, well, that's actually a very good question. During World War II, all the merchant vessels had armament. So we have a 5-inch gun on the stern, we have a 3-inch gun on the bow, and there are 8 20-millimeter anti-aircraft guns. On a merchant vessel, those guns were manned by naval personnel, and they were called the U.S. Navy Armed Guard. And there were about 24 of them, I think, on a typical merchant vessel. The rest were merchant sailors. But on this ship, it was 100% Navy.
I'm a little curious. I mean, someone could say you have a 5-inch. What's a ramification of firing a 5-inch projectile?
So 5-inch refers to the diameter of the bore. And the 5-inch projectile for this particular gun had a separate projectile and powder case. For the 3-inch gun on the bow, it's a 3-inch bore diameter, and that was fixed ammunition. So one piece, just like a rifle bullet or something would be, where you had a brass case with powder and the projectile inserted into that.
Well, what damage would a 5-inch missile do?
Actually, good question. And I think the best way to answer that is the 5-inch gun. If you go across all the naval forces of World War II, the 5-inch gun was the most widely used naval weapon in World War II. And there's a great book called The Last Stand of the Tin Can Sailors, and it's about the Battle off of Samar in the Philippines. And it talks about a Navy destroyer, a squadron of destroyers, attacking a Japanese task force which consisted of battleships, heavy cruisers, and so on, and just pummeling the bridge on those Japanese ships with 5-inch rounds, and actually forcing the Japanese much larger, much more powerful Japanese ships retreated in the face of this 5-inch barrage. So very, very effective gun.
Okay.
Yeah, we could shell. You could shell San Francisco. That's how.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
how its range.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's good visuals. Thank you.
Well, we'll pick another place.
Okay.
Not
so-
the Golden Gate Bridge or anything.
What I remember from being here, there was a hold with. I'm trying to remember what was going on. A hold with sort of a big room that was like a community thing. I remember the captain's quarters,
Yeah.
and but I don't remember seeing crew quarters.
Yeah, this is a little different from a Navy vessel. On a Navy vessel, you would see a large space on the ship with either hammocks or racks for dozens of sailors. This ship, since it was built as a merchant vessel, it has individual cabins with maybe 4 or 5, at the most, 4 or 5 sailors per cabin. So it's a little different configuration than what maybe a battleship or aircraft carrier would be.
By the way, please like, subscribe, and share, and we look forward to seeing you again